A BB48 Black Family, Hotep, Race First. This is Bob M. Hotep. Once again, we're here at the School of Urban Philosophy, where we are always straight up, straightforward, and straight to the point. Habari Gani, Habari Gani. This is the first day of Kwanzaa. First day of Kwanzaa. A Black celebration, a Black cultural celebration. I like to use Black and African interchangeably. So when I say Black, I'm referring to African. When I say African, I'm referring to Black. And by Black, I mean the essence, the authenticity of beingness is Black. Today has been a wonderful day. Hopefully, for all of you out there, it's been a wonderful day. But what is the principle of today? I say Habari Gani, and what is your response? Let me hear your response. Put your response in the chat, please. Habari Gani, Black family. Habari Gani. December the 26th, 2024. December 26th, 2024. Habari Gani. Habari Gani. Habari Gani. I want to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa. I believe it is only right that we acknowledge Kwanzaa and that we practice Kwanzaa to the fullest of our understanding and to the best of our ability. The Nguzo Saba, which is a Black value system, it's a Black value system that we should, in fact, be applying to our lives 365 days a year. However, we know that most people do not apply it 365, which is okay. You know, we each are where we are at in our own unique and specific process of growth and development. So we can't cast any hard judgment on one another. So you've forgotten the Swahili response. So what is the English response to today's principle? Habari Gani, and what should you say? We're going to learn that Kiswahili term today. But back to the point that I was making, we all are in our own process. Doing well. That's what's up. Appreciate that. We got to do well. We got to do well. In all areas of personhood, we should be doing well. Striving for wellness and well-being. It's very important. You know, physically, we should be well. I'm not well physically today. I'm not 100% because I hurt my back last week and my back is still recovering. And currently, I have a heating pad on. So I'm not 100% physically, but mentally, I'm sharp. Spiritually, I'm high. Psychologically, I'm stable. You know, culturally, I'm grounded. Politically, I'm solid. You know, so I'm good. Working back physically to get my physical good so I can be all around. You know, and that's what it's all about. Well-being and wellness. You know, Kwanzaa, 1966. You know, 1966, we get Kwanzaa. In a time period when our people were going through a movement, if you will. A movement, a type of a renaissance was happening. We don't oftentimes call it that, but a renaissance, not in the sense of something new, but a renaissance in the sense of something being born. A rebirthing was happening. A redefining was taking place during the 60s and going into the early parts of the 70s. Kwanzaa comes out of that time period. It comes out of that type of struggle for being, struggle for personhood, struggle for identity, you know, struggle for recognition of definition. Self-definition is what was taking place. And because of that time period, now we have a resource, man. We have reference to look at and to pull from. There's a reservoir of experience, wisdom, knowledge, and expertise that was developed during that time period that we can utilize. We can still take some good from it and move forward. Now, we know we got work still to do today. Yes, no doubt. We add to the work. We add to the reservoir. We pour into the reservoir. We don't just take out. We don't deplete. We pour in. We learn from those who came before us so we can know what to do. My brother Ilewa says, Habari Gani. So I must tell you, brother, Umoja. Umoja. Yes, today is Umoja. Unity. Unity. Black unity. And we're striving for black unity. We're striving to be better than we are. We're striving to be solid. And part of that work to be unified, we got to do some healing together. I like to use the word wholeness. Wholeness. We got to work towards being whole as a people. And we got to push through some of those psychological and emotional scars that we have. We have to push through those scars. We have to revisit some things that have happened to us and repair and move forward. Only a remnant of us will make it. Only a remnant of us will make it. Interesting statement. I'm of the mindset that the focus, because I understand why you say what you say, but what I've been noticing lately is a lot of emphasis is placed on those of us who are not doing right. It's kind of like the emphasis is placed on people that come home from prison. Like if you go to prison and you come home, there's no emphasis placed on those who don't go back. There's no emphasis placed on those who continue to do well. The emphasis is perpetually placed on those who reoffend and go back. And I think we're making a great mistake in this work that we do by not placing enough emphasis on those of us who are going to make it. So rather than saying only a remnant of us are going to make it, I like to say a significant amount of us will make it. I like to say that. I like to place the emphasis on the opposite side, not because I'm idealistic or because I'm blind. None of that. I'm clear about the derangement that's running rampant amongst us. I'm clear about that, but I don't think I want to give that too much energy. I think I want to place my energy on those of us who are going to make it, because I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it whether I make it physically or in my spirit. I am going to make it. Whether I make it in my physical, my spirit, because of the legacy that I'm building. And so I believe I believe every single person who can make the observation concerning what we are not going to do or what we can't do or who won't do, I think all of us are tasked with the responsibility of building in that area. Every observation that we make, then we should be providing what? The solution. Simple as that. I say if we can make the observation, then we should provide the solution. I think when we create that type of discourse amongst us, a discourse that places the emphasis on what we are going to do. Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna let everybody see what you're saying, right? So, I'm 100% clear. People love the beast. Yes, I'm clear about that. But I walk with a group of people who don't love the beast. So I got a group of people around me who don't love the beast. So I don't need to highlight or emphasize those who do love the beast, because my emphasis in my search and the work that I do are not for those. I believe, the work that I do is for those who trying to eradicate the beast, because there are a lot of us that's trying to eradicate the beast. And I appreciate your comments and your dialogue, my brother, because I know exactly what you're saying, and I know where you're coming from, and I know your heart. Even though we haven't spent time together physically, but I know your heart, because our energy always comes through. The one thing we can't deny, the one thing we can't mask, the one thing that we can't hide is our true energy. And I know your true energy. And energy moves through devices. Energy is not confined to space and time, not black energy. You know what I'm saying? The black energy is authentic. So I understand what you're saying. And I appreciate the dialogue and I appreciate the comments. Much needed, much needed. The work is serious though. Let's get this work done out here, black man and black woman. Let's build on Kwanzaa. Because a lot of people like to attack Kwanzaa. Every year Kwanzaa comes under attack, right? And the attacks are really not founded on anything, because at the end of the day, Kwanzaa in and of itself is a beautiful thing. Kwanzaa in and of itself is a beautiful thing. Kwanzaa stands alone. Kwanzaa is not attached to no individual. You know what I'm saying? Granted, people do establish things and people create things and people spearhead things. and then the things that are created become their own entity. Kwanzaa is its own entity. Kwanzaa will forever be here. It is celebrated and acknowledged and revered throughout the world. So for people to every year, once a year, to start waging these attacks on Kwanzaa, that's agency work. That's agency work there. That's what that is. Because if you don't have enough sense to know that Kwanzaa is solidified, it's not going anywhere. It's only going to grow, expand, become stronger, touch more lives, transform more people like it's designed to do. Kwanzaa is here. And any right-minded African or Black person living in a right state of mind should be able to appreciate Kwanzaa. The principles, what it does, man. You know, for 7 days, it brings Black people together, man, in harmony and peace and culture and celebration and reverence and affirmation. You know, you got the drumming and the dancing, the ancestors are present. Who would want to hate on something like that? Like, who would want to try to knock that down if you're really about Black empowerment? Like, why would you want to just come and try to tear down something that's clearly is helping Black people? Clearly is good for Black people, right? Why would you want to come and try to tear that down if you're not working against what Black people are trying to do? Like, your actions become self-defining and self-evident of your spirit. Of your spirit. Kwanzaa is here, you know. I've been practicing Kwanzaa, celebrating Kwanzaa, you know, acknowledging Kwanzaa since I became aware of Kwanzaa. 1993. Since 1993, I've been Kwanzaa ever since. Straight Kwanzaa. It makes sense. It's purposeful. It's purposeful. It's not filled with fluff and buff. It's not filled with the antics of commercialization. And granted, yeah, we know you got big corporations trying to get to it, but they're not going to take. Kwanzaa is here. Too many of us who know how to do Kwanzaa and who know right is involved. Too many of us. It's not going nowhere. It's where it's supposed to be, and it's doing what it's designed to do. It's a beautiful thing. You know, let's talk about all those principles, though. The first principle is what? Umoja, you know, unity, Kujitagalea, right? Self-determination. We got to look at all of that, man. Those things are serious. Ujima, right? Ujamaa. All that's real. Nia, Kuumba, Imani, right? Collective work responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Cooperative economics, faith, creativity. Those are things you can live by. Those are things you can live by those things, because we supposed to be striving day in and day out to tap into the Black authentic genius that lies dormant within most of us. If most of us applied ourselves, we would see that we will bring out nothing but genius and creativity. But I know it's hard to do that when you are under perpetual attack. When you're under perpetual attack, I know it's hard to do when you are consistently bombarded with negative energy, when you're consistently bombarded with the bill man, the bill collector. I get it. It's hard for you to find the time to focus on yourself. That's why community is so needed. And by community, I don't mean neighborhood. I'm not saying your neighborhood. By community, I'm talking about a collection of people who believe in sharing the same ideals, aspirations, rituals, customs, beliefs, and practices, right? When you have that, you can generate something. You can generate something. Yes, strong families. Strong families. You're correct. And strong families is what makes up the communities, right? See, the community should be a collection of families. See, a collection of families should make your community. And then a collection of communities will make your nation. So you're correct, right? Families are critical. And that's why the Black family have been what? Bombarded with negativity consistently, right? To wear it down, to break it down. And some of our families have fallen victim to it and have what? Collapsed internally. Some black families have collapsed internally. And that's why the communities are collapsing, because the families were the bedrocks of the communities. There was a time period in some communities, you knew everybody. You knew the families. You knew the person that been there the longest. You knew the whole family. You knew the mother name, the father name, all the sons and the daughters. You knew everybody. Nowadays, we don't know that, because there's a collapse in the family structure. And since the family has been fractured, the community is fractured. And so if family is fractured, then the people are fractured, because familyhood is what builds peoplehood, or rather familyhood builds personhood. And then from persons coming together, you can build peoplehood, right? Broken all of that. But we have to recognize that and instantly get to work in repairing that. And some of the biological families, we're not going to be able to repair. And that's just the truth of the matter. But that doesn't mean we give up on family. We still build family, because biology is not the sole determinant of what family is composed of. In some instances, yes, you got biology, but we got to understand that we got to look beyond biology to build this thing. So we got to get to work on rebuilding. Rebuilding. That's the work. And we start rebuilding by making sure we working on ourselves. Because we can't bring our drama and our trauma with us. We got to work that stuff out. You can't bring your daddy issues, your mama issues, your trust issues, your abandonment issues. You can't bring that and trying to build this new thing, because you're going to destroy you with all of that stuff. You got to work that stuff out. You got to work that out. Got to do some work, some deep soul searching to do some healing. I'm of the mindset that the best place to look for the ingredients and the techniques and the tools and the processes to repair and rebuild ourselves is within our own culture. Why do I say that? Because that's where I looked, that's where I went to begin to work on me and build me and repair me. And that's where I have directed so many other brothers and sisters within the last 30 years and watched them repair themselves and transform. So I know through experience, not theory, I know through experience that it works. So when you hear about Imhotep talking, I'm not talking from theory, but I understand the importance of theory, and I do utilize theory. But the knowledge and the wisdom that I bring to our people, all experience. It's all experience. If I sit down and talk about, building a collective fund, and people start saying, "Oh, man, we can't build that." Nope, I can tell you that's not true. Why? Because I've done it. We've done it. That my organizational structure, we've done it. We've built collective funds and took the funds and went on and opened up businesses, opened a restaurant up, right? We didn't use a single bank loan. We didn't go to the SBA or none of that. You know what I'm saying? All the funds that went into that restaurant that we opened up in 2017 here in Baltimore, Maryland, came strictly from the funds that we raised. So I know what can be done. So that's the reason why I don't lean on the side of pessimism. I've talked to people. I know people who were on the other side, who were cold criminals. Now they're over here 100% doing the work. So I know people can be reformed. I know we can touch our people. I know what can be done. I've seen children at 3 and 4 learning multiplication, 2-digit multiplication, how to regroup, know how. We've done it. We've done it in our child care system, and we've done it in our after-school program. So I know what we can do. I know what we can do as a people. So none of what I say comes from theory. It's coming from experience. And I can go on and on and on. I know how to be with a woman for 20 years, because in March 2025, me and my wife been together for 20 years. And I've helped other people maintain and sustain good, healthy relationships. So I'm talking about the black man and the black woman that need to be together. I'm not talking from no damn theory. Like these people that's running around who not in relationship, but you listening to them because they can make their words sound good. They smooth talkers. They not in a relationship. They haven't been in a relationship for 10 years. But yet they talking about relationships. And we're going to listen to them. Like, come on now, man. It don't make any sense to me. Now, let me qualify my statement, because I know how we are. We always try to find a way to argue to the contrary, to stay on the opposite side. Right? Now, I'm not saying that people who are not in relationships can't have something positive and something good to say. Because I believe most people, if you get your mind right, you can say some things that mean some sense, make some sense. I believe that. But I do not believe that anybody who have not sustained a relationship long term have any clue how to sustain a relationship long term. I don't believe that. Do I believe that that person can give some minimal advice here or there about relationship? Yes. But can he or she, who have demonstrated the inability to sustain a relationship, can give meaningful advice about how to sustain a relationship? I don't believe that. And I would never let that person try to tell me they can. I don't care how smooth talking they are, and I don't care how popular they are. You know what I'm saying? Not me. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is this. We can do more and get more done if we focus our energy on the positive aspects of us as a people. It's like in any race. Everybody not going to cross that finish line at the same time. That's a given. We know that. It's a given. We know that. Focus on the positive aspects of who we are. Right? What are we doing? What folk out there are doing solid, good work that we know they're doing good work because of their results. Of the results. Right? Not just them running their mouth and talking, the results. That's what it's all about. So when we come and talk about Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa has proven itself. Kwanzaa is no longer a theory. It's a practical thing. It's a practical thing. And we should get in the habit of holding Kwanzaa up and practicing Kwanzaa as much as we could, and talking about Kwanzaa, playing Kwanzaa songs, listening to Kwanzaa as much as we can, because every time these Europeans and their holidays come around, they make it their business to promote theirs. We don't do a good enough job collectively. I'm not saying some of us individually. Collectively, we don't do a good enough job at holding up our culture and the things that mean something to us. When Kwanzaa's on its way, coming in, we should be already talking about Kwanzaa, pushing Kwanzaa, playing Kwanzaa music, already doing it. What I like to do is I tend to start after the Umoja Kavamo, and I've been encouraging others to do that. Primarily others that are in my organization. I say, listen, after Umoja Kavamo, start pushing and talking about Kwanzaa, all the way up until Kwanzaa. Do a countdown, do whatever we need to do, right? But keep Kwanzaa out front. It's very important, because Dr. Chaikin the Joke made a strong, powerful statement when he made an analysis of our situation. He says nothing but cultural aggression. Cultural aggression. And he was very clear about that. And anybody who have given any serious thought to our situation, you would have to conclude that yes, it's cultural aggression, among many other things. But cultural aggression is up in there. And that's the same thing that Amilcar Cabral come to understand, what he was doing in Guinea-Bissau, when they was having that revolution against the Portuguese, against Portugal. He spoke about culture and the importance of culture. And I'm to paraphrase what he said that an oppressed people can only remain oppressed to the degree that they accept the oppressor's culture. Now, this is what I add to that. The moment that the oppressed refuses and rejects the oppressor's culture, that's the beginning stages of their freedom. The moment they rejects and refuses the culture of the oppressor and begins to accept and return to their own, that's when they are beginning their long march to freedom. This is a cultural thing. See, oppression is cultural. And I argue that in my black book, The Politics of Urban Struggle. Oppression is cultural. So therefore, liberation is cultural. We become liberated to the degree that we accept our culture, to the degree that we become to understand who we are and behave and act in accordance with that awareness. So that's the reason why it's very important that we take part in all of our cultural affairs, all of them to the best of our ability. You know what I'm saying? Don't make our cultural stuff secondary. You know, make it primary. It should be primary. Why? Because it's essential to our wholeness. It's essential to our wellness and well-being. That's why it's not separated from, cultural things are not extracurricular. And we got to stop looking at it that way. It's not an extracurricular thing. No, this is something that's necessary for your spiritual rejuvenation, for your well-being. Why wouldn't you want to commune with your ancestors? Because our ancestors always are at our gatherings when we go through the rituals to bring them there. The libation, the drumming, the dancing, the ancestors are being summoned to be among us. And why wouldn't you want to be there? When you don't understand it, yes, you make it an extracurricular thing, something that you can pick and choose. Oh, no, this, that, and other. It shouldn't be that way. But the reason why we view it that way is because we're so disconnected, because community has been fragmented. Because realistically, all of your affairs, your events, your culture stuff should happen within your community. So you wouldn't be able to opt out. It would be taking place right there within your community. But since our community is so fragmented, we don't see these cultural things as being a part of community. We see them as something being extracurricular or something that requires us to do additional work that we don't want to do. So we say, I'm tired, this, that, and other. You know what I'm saying? But once again, that's because of how our way have been warred upon. That's why. So we have to reassess how we see us. We have to reassess how we look at us and how we look at the things that should be important to who we are as a people. You have to reassess that. Like when Kwanzaa come around, I'm always excited. I'm always excited for Kwanzaa. I love the energy, the spirit, the times. Beautiful. And even though I walk in the culture, walk on our ways to the best of my abilities all year long. Every chance I get, that's what I'm doing. Introducing folk to who we are, our way, and standing in our way, not compromising, not picking and choosing. No, this is what it is. This is who we are. We have to move like this, black man and black woman. We got to be very serious about the work that we do. And when I say serious, I don't necessarily mean that you can't have a sense of humor. I mean serious in the sense that we need to be devoted and committed. That's what I mean by serious. That type of seriousness. Whereas we're not playing games with this thing. You put your word on it and you follow through. That's where we at. Black family, you out there with me? Who out there? Let me know if you out there. Give me a shout. Give me a BB for Holy at Race First. Give me something. I need the energy. I need your energy. Let me know you there. How we doing out there? Any of what I'm saying making any sense to you? What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your comments? Honor, my brother. Honor as always. Seven, 311. I heard that. A BB for Holy. Yes. Anybody else out there? You out there, speak to the Bible. Let me know you out there so we can keep it popping and rocking. You want to come on? I'm going to put the link in the chat. Let me know you want to come and join me. And we can have this discussion. And make sure you like this video, black man. Make sure you like it. Make sure you say it, man. Time ain't logged in. Battle this culture war. The war, by the way, two cultures. Yes, two cultures. The culture was real. The culture war is real. The cultural war is real. So we can look at the culture war in a number of ways. A number of ways you can look at the culture war. One of those ways is when what's meaningful to African people is portrayed in such a way that it's not meaningful. That's a war because that's intentional. African cultural icons, African cultural rituals are consistently questioned. Black thought, Black being is relegated. All that is cultural. To be situated in a position that you're secondary. That's a cultural thing because none of that is unintentional. All those things are very intentional. And they're intentional to the degree that it's about how to use subjugate a people without the people knowing that they're being subjugated and simultaneously propped up another people. That's a cultural war. Because that's what's happening. That's what's happening. It's a cultural war when people are put in a position to question what it means to be Black. That's a cultural war that's being waged on you. When you're put in a position to question your beingness or made to feel as if who you are inferior or questionable. That's a cultural war that's being waged through. That's the psychological aspect of that war because the cultural war is happening in many dimensions. It's physical. Yes, it's physical. But there are those psychological dimensions to this war. The psychological dimensions to the war when you are made to feel like your mode of communication is an inferior mode of communication. That's a cultural war because Black people don't speak inferior to anyone. But we believe we do. We believe we do. Why? Because this particular society and those who don't know any better promoted such that you are made to feel like Black, what they call it, Black English or, the Black vernacular, whatever they want to use, whatever term they want to use is presented in such a way that it's inferior or they say it's broken English. They use all these terms to indicate that it's not up according to a particular standard. And so if you're not meeting a particular standard, then you're less than standard. And that don't make any sense if you put any thought into it, because communication is designed to do what? To convey a message. To convey a message. And any people would want to communicate to any people in the style of communication that's going to convey the message the best. That's like trying to force a Chinese person to communicate in Korea or Korean, and then try to force them on top of that to communicate in what they call English or Spanish or Portugal, right? All these different mixed up languages, when all they really need to do is speak in the language that best communicates the message that they're trying to get across. And that's the same with Black people. If Black people have a mode of communication that allows us to understand one another very clearly, then why would you think that that's inferior? Why would you feel less than? We feel less than because they have enough sense to prioritize theirs over us. That's why. That's the war. They got enough sense to say we're going to make ours the standard, and anybody that's not speaking according to how we say you should speak, then you're not speaking well. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't know how to speak like they speak? If you're going to be in their world, then yes, you should. Because you should be able to speak in a language in a manner that's going to get your message across best. But make no mistake about it. If you're not going to be in their world and you're going to be talking to people who understand what you're saying clearly, then you're getting the job done. But the problem is that we don't value us enough, and we don't understand that people make culture because the culture of a people travels with the people. So when we want to cross the Atlantic or when we went across the Indian Ocean or the Red Sea or the Mediterranean Sea, we leaving out of Africa, we took culture with us. And yes, where we went, we adapted culture to fit the environment, to fit the climate, the climate, the topography of those places. So yes, our language, it varies to a degree, but it's not inferior to anybody. Not at all. But once again, that's how the war is being waged. The war is being waged because they have positioned themselves. They have made themselves the definers of all things. And by doing so, they define what is standard and what is substandard. And by many of us not understanding that principle of life, we fall into the category by allowing them to be the definers. And then what we do, we adopt the framework that they create. And we use their framework of standard and substandard. And then we apply it to ourselves. So yeah, you're going to feel inferior when you're using a framework that was created by people that was designed to make themselves feel superior. That's what this is about. Reparations money now for ADOS matters more. Us. I'm confused by that, James Brown. Break it down for me. Help me out. Let me help me understand that one there. I know what I read, but I don't quite follow. Now, if that's a statement or if that's a phrase, then no big deal. But I do like to respond to things if I can, and I like to understand stuff that's being posted as well. Our culture must be traditional, established, and not temporary and faddish. I agree. But once again, it can't be faddish, right? Because our emphasis is not on those who don't understand. Let's say, for instance, take yourself, Eric Jackson. You say you make the statement. You say our culture must be traditional, established, and not temporary and faddish. So if you're the only person standing, you make it traditional, established, and not temporary and not faddish. And by doing so, it's not going to be those things. That's how we got to think about it. Like, our emphasis can't be anybody who don't understand, they're getting it all wrong. They can't be our overall emphasis. The emphasis has to be placed on those of us who understand, who get it, and who's doing the right things. That has to be the emphasis. And we have to generate that and cultivate that energy. Because too often, our statements and our observations are always of, those who not doing it. Like, let them be. You know what I'm saying? Those who don't get it, who think it's a fad, let them think it's a fad, right? Because the more of us who don't think it's a fad and we know it's not a fad, all we got to do is, like I said early on, is consistently be. That's it. We just got to be the culture, right? And over time, we'll grow our ranks out. We ain't got to worry about them. I don't care if it's just me and you, Eric Jackson. We the only two. You know what I'm saying? Me and you, we're going to make a pact tonight that you and I are going to make our culture traditional, established, permanent, and not a faddish. That's the pact that you and I is going to make. And you and I, we're going to rock it that way to the end. And what I can guarantee you is this: our ranks will grow. We ain't got to worry about those who don't understand. Let them not understand. Focus that energy on me and let me focus my energy on you. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. We got to stay solid with those who are solid. We got to stay grounded with those who are grounded. And we got to stay in close proximity with those who are doing what's right. And we mustn't make the mistake of allowing experiences that we've had with a few of our people that may not have been the best experience. We mustn't allow that to become our perception of our people as a whole. We have to work very hard to prevent that from happening to us. Because oftentimes that happens. We can get so caught up in always looking outside of ourselves, and we can readily see, all the ones who just not right. And yeah, we should be able to see them and pinpoint them and stuff of that nature. But I don't think they require all our energy. They shouldn't be a part of all our analysis of us. At some point, some of our observations has to be of those of us who are, holding this thing down. I've been 100% consistently doing this work since 1993, consistently. Right? I've never taken the time off. Anybody that know me, that have met me at any point from 1993 to 2004, they'll tell you. They met me in 1997, they're going to say he's been doing what he's doing now. If they met me in 1994, that's what Bible been doing. So I've been doing it consistently. And I know I'm not the only person on the planet that have done it consistently. There's tons of us that have done this work consistently. And we need to hold those people up. We need to talk about that. We need to pull those people to the forefront. We need to bring their names to the forefront. We need to change the narrative about this movement and about the work. We need to change the narrative. The narrative is skewed, and it's being skewed because people have been hurt. And because they've been hurt, they're now using their intelligence to take their hurt and make their hurt the narrative of the movement. No, we got to change that. No, we got to change it. I've been hurt too. I've been shot before by black people. You know what I'm saying? I know how wicked we can be. You know what I'm saying? I'm very clear about that. I've been shot before. You see what I'm saying? Even trying to do the work in the movement, I've had people run off and take money from us. All of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It took everything inside of me not to go back to the other side and deal with them. So I know exactly how wicked we can be. You see what I'm saying? When we lose our way. But I don't let those experiences, you know what I'm saying, become my perception of my people. Because I know in the midst of all of that, I've met wonderful, great people, loving people, caring people, deep people, serious people. So I don't let that become my perspective, of who we are as a people. That's not my defining point. That's not the basis, the premise from which I proceed to talk about us, to talk about the movement. We got to change that narrative. We got to push hard to change the narrative. And yes, sometimes when you're trying to change the narrative, it's just going to be you. You got to be strong enough to be the only one that's doing the right thing. And right now, what I mean by the right thing is speaking the right narrative about us, because we're not all bad. We're not all twisted up. We're not all wicked. We're not all wrong. We're not all Negroes. We're not all treasonous. That's not who we are. We're not all scammers and backbiters. That's not who we are. That's a segment. Yes, it is. That's an element, no doubt. That's not who we are. So I'm not going to keep talking about that like that's who we are. I'm going to focus on those of us that's doing the work. My wife, Mama Ife, she's been doing the work with me since I met her. Been here solidly doing the work. And all the rest of the brothers and sisters in PLM, solid people. You know what I'm saying? Minister Tamino here now, solid brother, doing the work. Baba Disa, Shay Gould, Mama Gina, people that's doing the work. And even brothers and sisters who are no longer a part of PLM, put in many, many, many years of doing good work. Good work. So I'm not going to sit up and say, you know what I'm saying, Baltimore is filled with people that's doing good work. You got Nwale Mulosi Lumumba doing good work in Baltimore City. Ujima doing good work in Baltimore City. Men who can cook. You know what I'm saying? T-Nat. I know you start naming names, you're going to miss people, and that makes people upset. So that's why a lot of times I'm trying to name names, because you can't name everybody, but I know you got some serious people in Baltimore City. That's doing good work. Do we make mistakes? Doing good work? Yeah, we make mistakes. That's how you get better. That's how you grow. But we're not defined by our mistakes, because those mistakes are not perpetual. That's not the character of the person. That's just a mistake. It's a part of his or her growth and development. But the narrative can't be so focused on what's not right. That can't be the narrative. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to a narrative that the black man and the black woman, the African people, African beingness, stood first on the planet Earth. We've endured more, and therefore, we will forever be here. I subscribe to that. I subscribe to us coming about these conditions. I subscribe to us being better. I subscribe to, Pan-Africanism. You know, the call for the global unity of Black people. Now, I know everybody not going to fit into that, but yeah, that's the call. Everybody not going to make the cut, but that's the call. I get it. Some not going to make the cut. They don't have the mind for it. They don't have the heart for it. They're not going to be a part of it. I'm clear. But that is the call. You know what I'm saying? Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. Martin Delaney and Darby. You know, that's the call. You know what I'm saying? Back to Africa if you can, Paul Cuffey. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? The remerging of African personality in Nkrumah and, you know what I'm saying? Blighting called for that in 1800s. You know? Race first. Garvey. Before Garvey, Hubert Harrison. Before Hubert Harrison, Henry McNeil Turner with the race patriotism. Come on now. That's what I subscribe to. We're going to get it, Black man and Black woman. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. You don't come out these conditions if you don't have an abundance of faith in your ability to come out these conditions. And yes, everybody is not doing what they're supposed to be doing right now, but that does not necessarily mean that we not come out these conditions. Those of us who say we understand what's going on, we need to have and must have an abundance of faith in the potential and the capability of our people to rise above these conditions. And yes, it's going to take the best minds among us. It's going to take the best scientific minds and the best thinkers to pull this thing off. I'm very clear about that. Everybody do not have the mind. They're not fit. They're not qualified to do what needs to be done. I'm clear about that. But we're going to need the best scientific minds. Scientific in economics, scientific in sociology, in anthropology, you know, in architecture, right? In culture, we're going to need our cultural scientists, you know what I'm saying, on this thing. We're going to need our scientific revolutionaries. We're going to need the best scientific minds to get the work done. And to that end, I'm calling for, and I've been calling for almost coming on 5 years now, a national race first convention. I'm calling for the best minds amongst us, the best organized, our best military men that understand military, our best cultural scientists, our best thinkers. Be here. September 2025, Baltimore City. First annual National Race First Convention, where we need to pull together Harambe and bang out some things. How we're going to move, how we're going to get this work done. You know, no, I'm not saying we got to organize under one organization. That's not going to happen no time soon. I'm not calling for that. I'm not asking for organizations to relinquish any type of organizational autonomy or their leadership. I'm not calling for that. I'm saying that there are organizations out here across this country that has some solid people that's doing some solid work, and we all don't know one another, but we should. We should know each other on some basic level, and we should have some type of defining document that we all could build our specific areas of work through, where we are aligned, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve at this National Race First Convention in September 2025. Black man and Black woman. So as I prepare to close out, hopefully I've said something here tonight in some regard that you could use, because that's the only reason why I come forth to do these Black forums, is to bring you content that's right and exact for us as a people, content that you can use, you can pull from. You know, so I'm always of the mind that whatever we do must be done in the effort to push us forward, to move us forward, to put us in a better position as a people. So yeah, so my book is going through the process of being published, Scientific Pan-Africanism. This is going to be a powerful book. Scientific Pan-Africanism as a book is not a book about the history of Pan-Africanism. I didn't set out to write the history of Pan-Africanism. There are many, many books out there that's designed to present a history of Pan-Africanism. My book, Scientific Pan-Africanism, is doing three things. The first two things that the book is designed to do is to clarify Pan-Africanism and then offer an elaboration of Pan-Africanism. And the third thing it's designed to do is introduce to you scientific Pan-Africanism, which is not anything that's different from Pan-Africanism. Scientific Pan-Africanism is mature Pan-Africanism. Scientific Pan-Africanism is the process by which Pan-Africanism is being cleaned up. Because if we look at Pan-Africanism from its inception up until now, we can see how it made its deviations. And because many individuals don't understand Pan-Africanism, we see Pan-Africanism coming under attack by a lot of individuals that's trying to build a career off of destroying Pan-Africanism, but they don't even know what Pan-Africanism is if you listen to them. Right? If you really listen to the things that they're saying, they got Pan-Africanism all wrong. So if you want to really know what Pan-Africanism is and what it isn't, what its aim is and what some of its objectives are, then you need to be purchasing this book, Scientific Pan-Africanism, the redemption, reclamation, and restoration of Pan-Africanism. I'm currently taking pre-orders for that book. So, you want the link, many of you know my Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page. You can see it there, the link. And put your order in. Get your Scientific Pan-Africanism, my brother, my sister. Get that book in. Get your order and get your book. You most definitely, I stand by my work. I stand by it. You will not be disappointed, and you will recognize that, hey, I made a great investment in purchasing this particular book. I stand by my work. Caribou, my brother, caribou. So having said that, we will be back here again next Thursday, same time, same place. As always, we're going to bring what we bring, man. Information, straight up, straightforward, and straight to the point. And with that, I say, I'll be before Hodie, race first. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your Kwanzaa. And keep your culture out front. Reject and refuse the oppressor's culture. And start your long walk to liberation by returning to your own culture. Peace.